Final review. Bloodlands. I seen the first episode of the show right at the time that it aired, and then I finished the first season that summer, so 2021. And I was planning on watching season 2 when it aired, but I was just so busy with other things that I didn't get around to it until now. Watched all season 1 with my granda and then season 2 as well. And what I remember from season 1 is that it was very iconic. I remembered, a lot of things for it, which is very weird because the show's okay. It's nothing. It's nothing special. Like, I'd follow the Jet Mercurio shows that have popped up recently. I know he didn't create it, but he did produce it. Line of Duty, Bodyguard, this Trigger Point. This is probably the worst, but yet it is. Season 1 was very, very iconic. I remembered that you had Goliath. It was James Nesbitt. He killed Ian McElhenney. There was something to do with his daughter that eventually tied into the whole thing with Goliath. And it as I said, it was okay, but yet more memorable than Trigger Point or Bodyguard. I'm not going to comment on Line of Duty because I've only seen 2 episodes. My granda loved it because it sort of talked about stuff to do with the Good Friday Agreement and all that. And I think he also just likes watching things that were made here, especially when it's in locations that you recognise. Speaking of, there was a scene in the last episode where they're in a hotel, and there was a window in the background. You can see through the window. You can just see the roof of the hotel, and me seeing the roof made me think that this was filmed in a hotel that I stayed at a couple of years ago for a wedding. Where I got corona, but no, it wasn't the same. It wasn't the same place. Season 2 as a whole, I didn't expect it to come out. But when it did, I'm glad that they actually tied it into the Goliath story, because I had a feeling that they were just going to completely ignore that, and it was just going to be your standard murder investigation show. Like Broadchurch, but it's set in Northern Ireland. But no, they didn't do that. They actually tied it in the Goliath, and it worked out really well. Like, this is fictional, but I feel like that it does kind of highlight truths of the Troubles, like the fact that yet Americans funding paramilitaries because they're thinking, yeah, I'm doing a good thing. These are freedom fighters. No, they're terrorists. I think that's all I have to say. The girl that plays his daughter, I feel like her acting at the end, after she killed, I forget her name, but after she killed that girl, her acting wasn't really the best. James Nesbitt, I don't really have a problem with him, but it does feel like sometimes it feels like he's a guy who only got famous because of his looks or something like that. He's only famous because he was naked in the first episode of Cold Feet. But hey, this is not your average James Nesbitt cop show, so there's a plus.